goals in a span of 39 seconds.
We see the Hurricanes in a hole for the first time in these playoffs.
Back for Blake. Blake feeds it across. Ehlers scores! His first playoff goal as a Hurricane, and it's a 2-1 game. Nikolai Ehlers drops it. Canada scores! And this game will go to overtime. Over the line, hands it off. Taylor Hall going to the net. Hall's shot, stopped away without a rebound, scores! Taylor Hall banks it home! Carolina wins game 2 in overtime.
Xfinity Mobile Arena in Philadelphia on a beautiful spring night. 18 degrees in Philly. Bruce Springsteen sold out the rink 56 times. Billy Joel 48 times. And both men have banners in the rafters along with the Philadelphia Flyers and the Philadelphia 76ers. Big matchup for the home team tonight. Carolina Hurricanes roar in 6-0. We're hearing no Owen Tippett again. No Noah Cates for the duration surgery. May have Nikisha back in the lineup for the Canes tonight. He's been close. As mentioned, they're just flying. There's Nick Ehlers. More on him coming up. It's Hockey Central presented by Instacart, and it's kind of a sad night for us. Ryan Strome of the Calgary Flames, this is your last show already. Are you sad? We're sad.
I'm sad. I'm sad. You guys are nice to me.
Great job
so far.
Holy.
We got 3 more hours left of them.
That's true.
Yeah.
Maybe more.
Overtime.
Right?
You're calling overtime already?
The Don Valley is closed this weekend in Toronto. The liquor stores have to close because he brought in wine. And I mean a lot of wine. Thank you. We've never had parting gifts for any of our expert analysts.
My mom deserves some credit for that, too. She picked it up for me. So thanks, Mom.
Okay, back to... you could have had Taylor Hall for a song, back to Springsteen and Billy Joel.
Right.
Not anymore. He's just unreal right now.
Okay, I can't speak for everybody here, a Kevin line, but
but he would.
I can't wait to hear what you're going to say
I am
now.
just so impressed with Taylor Hall, and it's not because he has 9 points. I mean, that's, you know, a blessing for him, and I'm sure he's really happy. But it's the way that he's bought. Period. It's 2-2 at the time. So what does he do? Block. That was the second block, by the way, in that game. And then we go to overtime, and we all remember this, 1:06 left in overtime, and a gritty performance right in front of the net to score and beat Dan Vladar. And so for me, it's just fun watching Taylor Hall be a part of this group. Like you can tell he just loves it, right? Like it's a team commitment now. And he's always had all sorts of talent. We understand that, but I just think that he's loving the experience here.
And I'm really good buddies with Halsey, so I got to give him some flowers here. And, you know, I went to dinner with him earlier in the year, and he was on the 4th line. He started the year in training camp on the 4th line, and I asked him, I said, like, how do you feel about this? And he said to me, he goes, you know, I'm just going to work with it. I'm on the second power play. I'm going to move up the lineup. I'm on a really good team. I think that's a lot of maturity, and I've always really looked up to him on and off the ice. He's a great pro, and I don't know if 22, 23-year-old Taylor Hall would have thought that way, but he's come a long way, and good for him for now being one of their leaders in the playoffs, and says a lot about him, and he's a great friend and a great player, and really happy to see him doing well.
I can't believe how he just stick-handled like 5 feet over the line there. I wouldn't let him get away with that. Right. But, Kelly, you can speak for me because I agree with everything you just said about him. And another thing about him, like he's won a Hart Trophy before. We know he's had great years. But I think this playoffs, you've noticed him being really clutch. And clutch is like another thing that like just adds to your legacy. When you can score big goals like last game and big moments, that adds to your resume for sure.
Speed, huh? He's got it. Nick Ehlers has got it. Ehlers 5 goals for the Jets in their 8-game run last year. There he is with Sean McKenzie. Sean.
Nikolai, different venue, but same situation, a 2-0 series headed out on the road. What's the most important thing when it comes to not allowing your opponent to feed off of all of this?
Play simple. We know they're going to come out hard, use the energy from the crowd. We got to have a better side than we did last game.
The deeper that this team goes in the playoffs, how much more are we seeing just how much offensive depth you guys have?
Yeah, I mean, it's important to have the depth. I think we've done a good job of that all year. So that's something that we want to continue doing, and yeah, it's worked out so far.
Nikolai, thanks for the time.
Thank you.
So Ehlers' greatest asset, other than his interviewing skills, is his speed. He's one of those wingers where he's got so much speed, He's able to fly through the neutral zone, and as a defenseman, you give him a cushion because you're afraid of it, and you back up, and when you back up, this is what you get. Cut back, and you get guys coming late. And he's been doing a great job in this playoffs of backing off the D with his speed and then hitting guys late with their passing. So Stromer, I'm not saying you're not a speedster, but certainly like him and McKinnon and Natchez, they're the guys that do that kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm not the speedster by any means, but you know what the biggest thing for me about Ehlers is he's a really good 5-on-5 player. I think that really goes well with the Carolina system. He's always had an ability to score at 5-on-5, and he's always kind of been on the second or third line, even when he was in Winnipeg. And when you have a guy that can play down your lineup, so to speak, that can contribute, it's really hard to copy that. So he's done a great job. You see his speed back them off there on the Jarvis goal, and he's been a great fit in that system.
All right, so he is one of the more dynamic guys, and he's fun to watch. And the reason why, though, even as well as he's playing, the reason why I'm not counting Philly out is because of Rick Tocchet, the great job he's done all year, right? Like, nobody really believed him then. This is what he said after the game. We keep hearing that we're dead, but the guys won't give up. That's why I'm proud of them, and that's why they play for Rick. Like, I've known him, full disclosure, I've known him since 1987, and I've been friends with him for a long time. But he demands a lot from people, but he's honest and he's fair and he'll challenge you. But the one reason why players really like playing for him, he wants to get to know you. He's not just a coach. He wants to, like in Vancouver, you go for walks with the guys around the seawall, and it's about getting the most out of his players. He does it in a respectful way, but he really cares for the guys at the end of the day.
And he kind of embodies that underdog role, doesn't he? Which is what the Philadelphia Flyers definitely are now in this series. They're the underdogs, so he's got comfort in that role. He needs a little bit more out of Sanheim. Sanheim is a great defenseman, you know, 4 nations and Olympics, and he's a big guy. That's what people don't understand. Usually, I look at these stats, how many miles they've skated in Game 2, and I don't even care, right? But when I look at this stats, this list, and I see Miller and Sanheim, 6'5" Miller and 6'4" Sanheim. Now I'm impressed. I expect Drysdale, I expect Aho to be there, but when you see these big guys that can skate as well as them, and Sanheim, this is his game. He's a little bit of a gunslinger. He's up and down. He jumps in at the right times. He jumps in sometimes at the wrong times. But I think especially the way this series has gone, Carolina has allowed the fewest goals in the playoffs. He has to be more active. And then Keandre Miller's kind of the same thing. Maybe not as offensive as Sanheim, but he's been skating all over, doing it offensively and defensively. Stromer, you play with him, right?
Yeah, Keandre Miller, like you talked about the skating distance, and it's we talked about Nick Ehlers and Taylor Hall, and some guys just fit a certain system. And when they traded for Keandre Miller, I just thought, wow, that really fits. He can skate, he can defend, he's got a really long reach. The Carolina system is a lot of quick ups, a lot of rim pucks, a lot of shots on net from their defensemen. And I'm not saying there's not a lot of thinking involved, but it's very, very simple as a defenseman. Make the right play in front of you, use your skill, use your speed, and he fits in perfectly there. And you know what, good for him for finding a new home there after leaving New York, a rival that they played each other multiple times in the playoff series, and he's gone in there, and it's been pretty seamless for him there.
That was a quick up there, and you and Kevin are going to show a really neat thing about Carolina and one of their strategies. Time now for the Spotlight, presented by Firehouse Subs. The subs with substance, highlighting the players with substance. And for us, it's Freddie Anderson.
Yes, great game in Game 2. You know, he gave up 2 goals in 4 shots in the first period. You're probably wondering, oh, is this maybe time when it's not going to be his best? And I would argue that he had a terrific game. The rest, he had a busy second period, and he was at his best in overtime when he stopped 15. Let's take a look at some of those. But when you look at Freddie Anderson, what do you think of? Like, he didn't have a great regular season. Statistically, it was the worst of his career. I think there are people wondering, does he have it left? Is he going to be the starter in the playoffs? I don't know if Carolina thought that he was going to be the starter in Game 1, but he has just earned the net, and he's just been absolutely terrific. Kev, I know you played with him, and you realize how calm he is back there and reassuring to the guys in front of him. And this has been fun to watch, because when a guy has not a terrible regular season, but not as regular, you're wondering, I wonder if he's lost it a little bit, and he's proving everybody wrong.
I just think Ehlers' addition, too, the 2 Danes,
yes,
got to be, the buddy-buddy system. Okay,
Yep.
Jordan Staal, Ryan, you've faced this monster on the draw.
Yeah, Jordan Staal, I mean, there's a funny joke that is in an NHL dressing room. So when you start the game, the coach comes in and he circles the line that's starting on the board. And oftentimes you see like the Staal line is starting when you play Carolina. And all the centermen tend to look around and kind of look at each other and go, oh, who's going to get this matchup tonight? And, you know, I think that's one of the things that makes Carolina so good at home. People always wonder, what is it about playing in Carolina? I think it's the ability to match him up against other guys. So going on the road tonight, it's going to be interesting to see what matchup he does get. And, you know, it starts in the face-off circle. He's an absolute moose in the dot. He crushed me 11-0 this year, I think, in Anaheim. Or, sorry, my first game in Calgary, that is.
You won that opening one.
I think I won it, too. I got to talk to the stats guy. But,
that one you lost.
But, you know, he's just, when you start with the puck against this Carolina team, like, they're so good. And he's a big part of that. And he's done it for so many years, and he's such a big part of their team. And it's really underrated how good he is. And if you ask guys around the league, he's one guy everyone hates playing against.
Well, just so you know, John Abbott and I didn't mention it in the broadcast, so you're okay.
I appreciate it.
Isn't that cool? He's got the 4th most face-offs ever in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's unreal.
That was just kind of flash there. That's an unbelievable stat.
And just looking at the C on him, Couturier too, when he was out with the Philadelphia Flyers leadership, right? We're going to feature Porter Martone now, and his mom and dad are both teachers, Ange and Mike, and everywhere Porter has played, he has been a captain. Let's spend a little time with the phenom of Philadelphia.
Porter Martone. Picked up by Martone, put the brakes on, waiting for help. Takes a shot and scores! Porter Martone in his first Stanley Cup playoff game.
You know, I always dreamed of it, but, you know, I didn't know it would happen this fast. You know, it's been a whirlwind. You know, it feels like, you know, I started my junior hockey career yesterday, and, you know, it feels like I arrived at Michigan State, you know, a couple hours ago, and then, you know, a snap of the fingers, and now you're here in the NHL playing the second round of the NHL playoffs. So, you know, it's happened so fast, and, you know, that's just something you have to enjoy.
You can tell the players, you know, wait till you see what it's like to play in the playoffs here in Philadelphia, but there's no words to really properly describe how it is and the vibes.
Shot from long range, score! The Flyers win it! Cam York beating the Seahawks in overtime!
You know, that feeling when you see Yorkie score in overtime there is something you can't even explain. You know, you kind of have chills. The fans are great all series long. You can really see, you know, the city rallying behind us, which is really nice to see.
Young Porter Martone continues to make an impression in his first 15 combined NHL games.
He's having impacts in every facet of the game, which is pretty amazing for a 19-year-old playing, you know, his first time in playoffs hockey.
As a person, he's pretty goofy. He's a big guy, but he's so, like, young that it's a weird mix, but he's really funny. And on the ice, he's big, so he uses his body and protects pucks, and he's got a great shot. I think he's had like 9 shots every game he's played, so pretty impressive to come right in and do that.
And over to Konechny, blocked, rebound, they score. And it's once again Porter Martone, the 19-year-old.
We said at the beginning of the year we hope to play some meaningful games coming down the stretch because we hope that our young guys would get the chance to play and learn and get the experience of those moments, because it's hard. This is all experience that you can't buy for our young guys.
That was a big win, boys. Thanks for being so welcoming, and let's keep this rolling.
You know, me and my dad actually talk about a lot of just, you know, stay where your feet are, you know, and just live every moment to, you know, the max. And my mom and dad have been supportive, you know, ever since I was a little kid. I think they knew I had a passion, and, you know, for me to have that kind of dream come true and become reality, you know, it's really surreal right now and it's special, but, you know, I wouldn't be here who I am without my mom and dad. You know, for me, I felt like I haven't really been able to, you know, really soak it all in yet. And, you know, really look back and see how cool this opportunity I'm getting. But, you know, I love playing the sport, and, you know, I'm so excited to, you know, be playing in the NHL and being in the Flyers organization.
So great. And Kelly, there's stay where your feet are, the advice from Mike.
I love that. So Jeff Merrick posted on social media about Mike, Porter's dad, and said, you know, he knew all about his career with Peterborough and a junior career. And he posted some video, and I was watching, and I was, oh my gosh, is this guy like rugged? He was so mean and everything. It was amazing to watch as a right-handed defenseman, and so I love that. And so when you're around that kind of environment and you know your dad's plays like that, then it's going to rub off on you a little bit.
He's got that in him. You can see it for sure. He's got a chip on his shoulder, and it's funny because he's so young and he's only been on the team for like a month. But if I'm Rick Tocchet, I don't go to him maybe a little bit more tonight, and I'm like, let your game go. Right. We need you to beat more guys. We need you to create more offense. You don't have to be as safe.
And it's amazing. Just another example of young guys in the playoffs jumping right in and making an impact. Like, I don't know if it's a shot of life for these guys, but you're seeing it more and more around the league. Back in the day, it was like, I feel like all veterans, and now these young guys come in and it's a shot of adrenaline, and it seems like it inspires the group.
And every step of the way, whether it was Michigan State or the World Junior Championships, he's one of those big stage performers, clearly. So when we come back, another one, Jamal Mayers. Jamal's going to chat a little bit about Game 1 of the Buffalo-Montreal series, who he thought shone, who could shine a little more. That's when we come back on Hockey Central, ahead of the game in Philly.
The Stanley Cup Playoffs on Sportsnet, presented by Instacart. Get groceries delivered in as fast as 60 minutes.
You look to the stars, are you gonna be alright?
If Connor McDavid and Connor Bedard had childhood ambitions to become architects, CIBC would work with them every step of the way. Or if they wanted to be mechanics, we'd have a personalized plan. Just like we'll have a plan for your ambitions too. CIBC, ambitions made real.
New plan. Hey Google, what's the fastest way to the pier?
Oh, please welcome friend of the pod, Ty.
Please tell me you did not start a podcast?
People got to hear my takes.
No, people got to go with the score.
Oh, D-Pair's tired. Shots are really piling up.
My gut says overtime, folks.
What? No. New York's got this. Lock it in.
Bad placed.
Yeah! We called it! Oh, let's check in with the chat. Mom! You can't say that.
What are we laughing at?
What's this?
Oh, it's an offering to the hockey gods. Yeah, we don't do that anymore. Yeah, next time, just buy us a beer. Yeah, that makes sense. Mortals, am I right?
With Rogers Xfinity Internet, my whole house is ready for baseball. So this is where I buy all my memorabilia. Boom! Just got Clement's childhood glove. Mom. She's really come through for me. And this is where I stream everything.
Sweet setup.
It's all for you guys.
Michael, what is this?
Oh, yeah. That's where I keep my modem.
Get Major League Internet with Rogers Xfinity.
Yeah, Wi-Fi is just pouring out of that thing.
I like thin ham.
Thin?
Big sliced, honey sweet. When all he wants is a different meat. Thin enough you can see right through me. I wanna make the sandwich of your dreams.
Men's clothing provided by Jack Victor.
The official fuel of the NHL, Esso, is proud to fuel Canada's love for hockey. Esso, dedicated to Canada's game for over 90 years. Time now for The Big Board, presented by Bet365, official partner of the NHL. Here's Jamal Mayers. And Jamal, Kelly Rudy and I coached in the CHL Top Prospects game. Kelly had Mark Habscheid as his head man. I had Brent Sutter, but I had Bowen Byram. So we were home and cool, leading 3-1 with 5 to go. And I have Bowen, who's like the swagger on the bench of all swaggers. Anyway, we lost 4-3. I don't know what happened. But he was good last night, didn't you think?
Absolutely. It's not coaching, but he's been really good, especially offensively. And to see what he's been able to do on the offensive side of things, really leading the charge of the second unit with Owen Power. In fact, he's got 3 goals and 2 assists in the last 5 games. And over the course of these playoffs, in 7 games, he has 4 goals and 2 assists for 6 points. But what's most impressive, he's a +7 as well. The only minus was in Game 5 versus Boston. Hopefully I didn't just jinx him. His partner, as I mentioned, Owen Power, 17 shots. You have to think he's watched and learned a few things from his old partner, Cale Makar, from the Colorado days, getting those pucks through. He's been really good at it.
You didn't jinx him. Kelly Rudy jinxed him. Anyway, Zach Benson, here's another good story for you. When he was an 18-year-old kid, so this is 2023 December, playing against the Stanley Cup champs with Buffalo, and he scores the winning goal. And Don Granato, the coach, came into the room after the game, and he said, you know what? The champions, they got Bennied. He loved Benson right away. Everybody in Buffalo loves him. What about him?
Yeah, you know what? He's got a tremendous amount of skill, obviously, and he finds ways to create offense in so many different ways. In fact, he got a goal and assist to close out the Boston series, 2 assists in the first game against Montreal, 2 goals and 3 assists, 5 points in 7 games these playoffs, and that's without getting a point in the first 3 games. He's centered by Norris and Doan, who have 5 goals in the 7 games of the playoffs. Yeah, he has puck skills. Yeah, he has vision. He has timing, but he is absolutely fearless and will go to those tough areas to score.
So Ryan Strome said last night, Jamal, that Montreal had mixed up their lines a little bit from the previous series, and he thought they might have been out of sync a little bit. They need Demidov. That's what you feel. So go on about Ivan. What are you looking for?
Yeah, they need a lot more from him, obviously, offensively. He's got no goals so far in these playoffs, and he is on that second line, obviously, playing with Newhook and Evans. And you could argue or make a point that they actually have 2 third lines, but they have to have him produce. Perhaps there's an opportunity for him to switch with Slavkovsky because the number 1 line isn't creating as well. So in 8 games, only 2 assists, 16 shots, averaging almost 17 minutes. All the focus has been at Caulfield only having 1 goal. Demidov has to show up offensively. They've got to get him going. He is the spark plug. I know that Marty St. Louis is going to mix things up, certainly. Don't be surprised if you find him moving up in the lineup, getting different opportunities with different guys, because they need all kinds of help offensively.
Fantastic as always, Jamal. Jamal Mayers and the Big Board, presented by Bet365, official partner of the National Hockey League. You can download the app today. So back here, and we're going to talk about that quick strike Canes approach. Ryan or Kevin, you're going to start.
So a lot of players feel like Carolina Hurricanes, one of the hardest teams to play against. You use buzzwords like aggressive, plays fast, comes in waves. What does that actually mean, though, on the ice?
So when you play Carolina, the thing that makes them really tough to play against is they're just relentless. And people say, like you mentioned, how do they do it? Well, what they do is they keep you on the ice for extended periods of time. So when you're in the O-zone here, look at the pressure they put on the other team's defensemen. They're just nonstop. They're always over top of their checks. And then once Philly is finally able to get the puck out here, they don't get it all the way down. So they get maybe just the other team's blind. They're going for a change. Some guys aren't fresh. They rim and quick up, and look how quick it goes 200 feet the other way. Carolina just goes over and over again. So this is what they say being on your heels. The quick ups, the nonstop, the pre-pinch by the D, and they go at it again. Here's another similar rush chance. Right to the net, they crash hard, they're fast, they're aggressive. Philly, again, breaks the pressure. They're probably pretty tired. They're able to chip it out. Michkov doesn't get it deep, and look at it again, quick up, right back down your throat. And this is what they do over and over and over again. And as the opposing team, you feel like you just want to get off the ice. You can't make a play. You're just in pure survival mode. And you know, when they do get in the O-zone, this is the next thing they do. Look at the pre-pinch on the D here. So the weak side D is always ready to come down on the puck, which makes it so hard for the weak side winger to try to get out to the D. And they do it again here. Their forecheck is their bread and butter of their game. They come hard. Another pre-pinch by Walker keeps the puck in. Shot attempt, shot volume, and this is how they do it. It's just relentless. And they rim pucks out in the O-zone. And when you're on the defensive side, you're exhausted. There's only so much you can do to get the puck out. You're just trying to get to the bench, but then you sewer the next guys coming on the ice, and they're on their heels, and they have nothing they can do.
So to play this style, though, you have to play everybody in your lineup. Do you not? Do you need 4 lines and 60? And if the other team's not prepared to do that, you kind of expose them, right?
4 lines, guys that can skate, guys that buy into the system, and they just quick up the puck. There's no dipsy doodling. There's no east-west. That's why a lot of teams and why their analytics are so good. A lot of people love that. And it's just over and over again. It's tough to play against, and especially in their building, they're really good at it.
So the Norris finalists. Okay, get it out of the.
I was holding it in
because I want to hear what you think about. You made a great point earlier today. We were doing the Bob Stauffer show, and you just said, "Look, Bob, Evan Bouchard, I know you're crestfallen in Edmonton, but it's just one of these years.
It's a year where it's a really deep pool, and it's not like that every year. And I think Darlene's going to win it, even though I still think Makar is the best tee. But Quinn Hughes could be in there. You know, you could have who else could you have in there?
You said
Jake
Maurice
Sanderson, Mo Sider, Evan Bouchard. Yeah. So like, take your pick. Like, I think you have to be a complete defenseman to win that. Like, who are some of the guys you think should be up there?
I mean, the guys you mentioned, 100%. I mean, I know Bouchard at the points, and he's unbelievable offensively, but you're right, it's a total package, and it's splitting hairs, though. I mean, every year a different guy can win. I think Makar is the obvious one, and then after that you can have the debate for guys each year, who has the best year, and the award's supposed to be who's the best player that year, so we'll see who wins.
I know Bouchard's not up for that trophy right now, but I think this year did a lot for the hockey world to see what he can do, though, right? Like, I think moving forward, people take him more seriously. Like, they just thought he was an offensive guy, not realizing that he's on the PK. What was he, plus 25? He had over 100 block shots. Like, he does so much more than just score points. I think moving forward, people go, you know what? We should consider Evan if he has years like that.
Totally agree with you. And then the guy he played against in the first round, Jackson Lacombe. If Lacombe has a point a game next year with the way he skates and defends, why can't he be up for the award as well?
Well, he's got to get to those loose pucks on icings. Anyway, other than that, tremendous player.
Wave it off.
You have to have watched, last night. Okay, we're getting ready for a huge game for the Philadelphia Flyers. They're down 2-0 in the series. Carolina and Philadelphia, coast to coast on Hockey Night in Canada when we come back.